I'm sitting here after watching the debate on CNN, and I'm sitting here, and one of the verses that came to my head very, very clearly was from Proverbs 29. We've read it a while ago, and verse 2 says this: when the righteous men are in authority, the people rejoice. But when a wicked man rules, the people groan. And I am groaning a lot after watching that debate. If these are the leaders of the Western world, then we're deep in biblical prophecy trouble. And I would like to talk about the debate, talk about what was said, talk about what wasn't said, talk about what this means, kind of share a little bit of a perspective from the Middle Eastern point of view, even though I'm here right now, and maybe kind of fill in a few more connections. So this is a Balagan Connection, and this is the debate on CNN. But the thing that I need to connect to more than anything was weakness. Both candidates showed a deep lack of leadership, of coherency, of political acumen. And what I'm saying is that if these are the two people that will basically be president of the strongest world power in a couple of months, then this is a very weak situation. And I think our enemies are enjoying. But there is a difference, and let's talk a little bit about what was said. I did pick up a couple of things that did connect, and both Trump and Biden, when they were asked about the most important military situation, the most important political situation, the most important biblical spiritual situation in the world today, very little was actually said. One thing I did hear President Biden say is that he helped Israel. The only thing that he didn't allow Israel, as far as weapons are concerned, are 2,000-pound bombs, and he said he was doing Israel a favor. He said we saved Israel when they were attacked by the Iranians. So that's the Biden position. He did put it all together in different kind of pieces. Two things Trump said when he was actually asked about a Palestinian state. He kind of used the time to divert to a different subject, and in the end said, we'll have to see. He mentioned the fact that if he had been president, then this would not have happened, and I kind of accept and believe that. And once he said that he had put Iran in its place and that Biden was a Palestinian, in fact, not even a good Palestinian, a weak Palestinian. And I think in a nutshell, that was everything that was said on this subject. It seems that both candidates have other things on their mind, and both candidates, more than anything, there was this petty argument about he said this and I said that and they said that and this is true, and they both called each other liars I don't know how many times, and I think this is what has most of us worried. If I understand correctly, this means that President Trump will win the election. And if that's true, we will have 4 years of a Trump administration. And again, if you ask me if I would rather have 4 years of a Trump administration or 4 years of a Biden administration, the answer is very clear, both from a geopolitical point of view and I think even from a spiritual point of view. Though I will say, if this is the Trump that we're going to get, I'm kind of worried about the coherency and the actual leadership, and we do need strong leadership in the United States in the situation that is coming on, because there is a revolution that is growing up in the United States. We'll be talking about revolutions on one of the coming up videos, but that revolution is much more important and much more dangerous than most people think. We will need strong leadership to deal with this. I mean, whenever there's this kind of situation, leadership is critical. Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel, Egypt, we're all looking at this, the moderate Gulf states, and we're saying, okay, this is not the great Trump that we thought about. This is not the leader of the Western world. This is somebody who is actually more dedicated to his own political issues at home, but he is better than the other one, and we're all waiting for this to happen. Our enemies also realize that this is going to bring a change. And what we saw today basically means that there's going to be 4 years of a Trump administration, unless something else happens, and that's a whole different debate on a different level. And that means that there is a time of a few months right now where if they're going to pull off something major, they're going to have to do it now. which is why I think the next couple of weeks in Gaza and the next couple of weeks in the north in Lebanon are going to be critical, because I think Iran realizes if you're going to do it, let's do it under a Biden administration and not under a Trump administration. When I say do it, I mean press the button and start a full-out war with Israel, hoping that they can cause enough damage and create enough of a mayhem that Israel will back down from stopping their advance, their proxies advance, stopping their spreading their influence through the Middle East. The United States will not stop the influence. I think the Trump administration has done that in the past and will do that in the future. So what happened in this debate, more than anything, I think turned up the speed of the clock and put everybody under more pressure, our enemies under more pressure to do whatever they want to do in this situation, and our allies to hope that we will be able to hold on, survive until this administration changes over and the political situation in the Middle East will change. So that's what I think about the debate. That's what I think has just now happened. More than anything, I think I saw weakness from both representatives, one because of his situation, the other because he's more attuned to his own inner problems. And the Middle East and the people around me are looking at that weakness. And I've said this before, I'm more worried about American weakness because our enemies can see that, and that says to them, this is the chance to pull off more attacks and spread their influence even more. A couple of words about us. We are in a summer situation where there's a lot of different events. I've been speaking in churches, speaking in conferences, and I'm going to as many venues and as many churches and as many conferences as I can to explain what's going on in Israel, and I'm finding that there's a growing need for that. By the way, if you hear of somebody or know somebody who wants me to speak and explain what's going on in Israel and how that connects to the biblical story, let me know. We're going to be out in Alabama, and in September we're going back to Israel. And we're going back to Israel. I've got one more tour group going on, but on the 7th of October, I'm going to be back in Israel. And I'm putting together a solidarity tour of people who are interested in showing their support and solidarity with Israel. It's not going to be a regular tour like tour sites. It's more like going from place to place to show the Jewish people our solidarity, help, volunteer in a couple of places, but more important than anything else, on the 7th of October, the coming 7th of October at 6:30 in the morning, we're going to be overlooking Gaza on our knees and praying for the peace of Jerusalem. So if you want to take part in that, we're putting the itinerary together right now. It'll probably be about 6 or 7 days in Israel. If you're interested in something like that, there will be a link down here in the website to the Gijon Spring page. The Gijon Spring page will have information about that. And just let us know, or send me something in the comments, let us know, and we will reach out and see if you want to join us in this amazing trip. Meantime, we've put a little tab up here that if you want to press and kind of support us directly, you can. But you can always support us through the Gijon Springs website that supports believing Christian work in Israel right now. This is the Balagan Connection. This is the day after the debate. This is why we're worried right now. And just pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Hope to see you soon.